The crystalline amphitheater of the Stellar Academy sparkled under the light of 3 moons, its transparent walls reflecting the stellar dance of the Centauri binary system. Inside, thousands of beings from across the galaxy shifted in their seats, their varied anatomies creating a symphony of subtle movements. The annual Galactic Scientific Summit had never seen such attendance, drawn by rumors of a presentation that promised to reshape their understanding of the cosmic order. Scholar Zixtal moved to the central platform, their bioluminescent tentacles pulsing with a mix of excitement and nervousness. As the Centaurian researcher activated the holoprojector, the vast chamber darkened, and a perfect representation of Earth appeared, floating in the air like a precious jewel. Esteemed colleagues, Zixtal began, their translator converting complex harmonic tones into standard galactic common. We have been blind to the most extraordinary evolutionary success story in the known universe. The Earth hologram transformed, showing the planet's changes through geological timescales. While we celebrated our own achievements, we missed the rise of the ultimate adaptive species. Murmurs rippled through the audience. A Crovac warrior in the front row flexed their armored carapace in what the gathered xenobiologists recognized as a sign of dismissal. The warrior species had long considered themselves the pinnacle of evolution, their silicon-based biology allowing them to survive conditions that would kill most carbon-based life. Zixtal's tentacles rippled with academic confidence. Observe this timeline. The hologram shifted, showing parallel evolutionary paths of various sentient species. Most of us evolved to excel in specific environments. The Crovac adapted to extreme pressure and heat. My own species developed in the methane seas of Centauri Beta. But humans. The scholar paused for effect. Humans evolved to adapt itself. The hologram zoomed in on ancient Earth, showing early humans crossing vast savannas. They began as persistence hunters, neither the strongest nor the fastest. Yet they could pursue prey until it collapsed from exhaustion, a technique that required not just physical endurance, but the ability to track, predict, and adapt tactics in real time. A Vardaxian scientist raised a crystalline appendage, but surely their physical limitations are precisely what made them extraordinary. Zixtal continued, their excitement causing their bioluminescence to pulse brighter. Consider this. Humans can survive in temperatures ranging from -50 to +50 degrees Celsius with minimal protection. They can heal from injuries that would be fatal to most species. Their endurance allows them to remain active far longer than predators evolve for short bursts of activity. The hologram shifted to show human technological progression. But here is where it becomes truly remarkable. Look at the time scale. The audience leaned forward as one. From first tools to space travel, 300,000 years. From first powered flight to landing on their moon, 66 years. From discovering nuclear fission to developing fusion drives, less than 2 centuries. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Most species had taken millions of years to achieve similar advances. The Crovac warrior's dismissive posture had shifted to one of intense attention. This is not mere technological progression, Zixtal explained, their tentacles weaving complex patterns of excitement. This is evidence of a species that evolved to be the perfect generalist, capable of turning any environment, any situation, any challenge to their advantage. The hologram now showed humans in various environments: deep sea stations, orbital habitats, Martian colonies. While we were evolving to become perfect specialists, humanity was evolving to become perfect adapters. They don't just survive in new environments. They reshape them, master them, and then improve upon them. Zixtal's voice took on a tone of academic awe. What we are witnessing, esteemed colleagues, is not just another spacefaring species. We are in the presence of the universe's apex predators, not because they are the strongest or the fastest, but because they are the most perfectly evolved to learn, adapt, and overcome any challenge the cosmos presents. As the first part of the presentation concluded, the assembled alien species sat in stunned silence. The implications were clear and slightly terrifying. They weren't just sharing the galaxy with another intelligent species, they were sharing it with one that had evolved to master it. The holographic display transformed the amphitheater into a prehistoric Earth savanna, so realistic that several delegates instinctively moved away from a passing mammoth. Scholar Zixtal's tentacles waved in satisfaction at their audience's reaction. The previous tension had transformed into rapt attention. "What you're witnessing," Zixtal continued, "is humanity's first great leap. Unlike other apex predators who evolved specialized hunting techniques, observe how these early humans approached their prey." The hologram showed a group of early humans tracking a herd across the grasslands. They didn't need to outrun their prey. They simply needed to outlast it. The scene shifted, showing the hunters following tracks, reading signs in broken grass and disturbed earth that seemed invisible to the alien observers. A Malorian scientist, renowned for their species' enhanced visual capabilities, clicked their mandibles in surprise. They can decode that much information from such subtle changes. Indeed, Zixtal affirmed, their bioluminescence brightening with enthusiasm. But watch what happens when the trail goes cold. The holographic hunters paused, gathered, and began gesturing. This is where humanity's true power emerges, their ability to imagine possibilities, to think abstractly, and to communicate complex strategies. The display expanded, showing multiple hunting scenes simultaneously. In one, humans used fire to drive prey. In another, they set elaborate traps. In a third, they used thrown weapons to attack from a safe distance. Each challenge they faced didn't result in physical evolution, but in technological and strategic evolution. They didn't adapt their bodies to new hunting grounds. They adapted their methods. The timeline accelerated, centuries passing in moments. Simple spears became abladdles, then bows, then more sophisticated weapons. But Zixtal focused on something else entirely. Notice their settlements. The display showed the growth of early human communities. Other predator species remained solitary or in small groups. Humans built larger and larger cooperative units, sharing knowledge across generations. A Krovac elder, their armor bearing marks of high rank, interrupted. This only proves they were weak individually, requiring numbers to survive. Zixtal's tentacles rippled in what the audience recognized as academic amusement. Observe the next phase. The hologram shifted to show early human conflicts. When faced with competition, they didn't just fight. They innovated. Each challenge sparked new technologies, new strategies, new ways of thinking. The display showcased humanity's technological progression, but with a crucial difference from standard historical records. It highlighted not just what they invented, but how each invention led to unexpected applications. Simple pottery became storage, became trade, became writing, became the preservation and transmission of knowledge. Most species, Zixtal explained, take millions of years to achieve significant evolutionary advantages. Humans, they created their own evolution through technology. They weren't satisfied with adapting to their environment. They adapted their environment to themselves. The hologram now displayed a dizzying array of human habitats: underwater cities, orbital stations, lunar bases, and terraformed landscapes. From their first cave shelters to their most advanced space habitats, humans have maintained this pattern. They don't wait for evolution to solve their problems. They solve them themselves, and then immediately begin looking for new challenges to overcome. A Viridian observer raised their crystalline appendage. But surely this rate of advancement is unsustainable. That's the most fascinating part, Zixtal responded, their tentacles weaving patterns of academic excitement. Their rate of advancement isn't linear. It's exponential. Each solution they develop opens pathways to dozens of new possibilities, which they eagerly explore. While other species perfect their existing technologies, humans continually push into new territories, both physical and technological. The display concluded with a stunning visualization of human expansion across their solar system and beyond. What we're witnessing isn't just technological advancement. It's the continuation of that same adaptive drive that let their ancestors track prey across the savannah. Only now, their hunting ground is the entire galaxy, and their prey is knowledge itself. The assembled delegates watched in stunned silence as the final images faded. Many were frantically recording notes, while others sat in contemplative silence, processing the implications of what they'd learned. The Krovac elders' earlier dismissal had been replaced by an intense, calculating stare. The holographic display shifted once again, this time projecting a detailed anatomical model of a human being. Scholar Zixtal's tentacles moved with precise academic gestures as they highlighted various aspects of human physiology. The assembled alien delegates leaned forward, some activating their data recording devices for closer study. What you're about to see will challenge everything you believe about evolutionary advantages. Zixtal began, their translator perfectly conveying their tone of scientific enthusiasm. At first glance, humans appear remarkably average. They lack the natural armor of the Krovac, the enhanced vision of the Malorians, or the telepathic abilities of the Viridians. Yet, it is precisely this apparent mediocrity that makes them extraordinary. The hologram zoomed in on the human cardiovascular system. Consider their endurance capabilities. A human can maintain moderate physical activity for hours, even days, with minimal rest, while a Krovac warrior can exert more force and a Malorian can move with greater speed. Neither can match a human's sustained output. A skeptical murmur rippled through the audience. A Malorian scientist rose, their compound eyes reflecting the holographic light. But surely their limited regenerative capabilities. Observe, Zixtal interrupted, their bioluminescence pulsing with excitement. The display showed a time-lapse of human wound healing. Humans can recover from injuries that would be fatal to most species. Their healing process isn't just about repair, it's about adaptation. Each injury heals stronger than before. The hologram expanded to show humans operating in various extreme environments. Their temperature regulation system is equally remarkable. Humans can survive in environments ranging from Arctic tundra to scorching deserts. While other species evolve to thrive in specific conditions, humans develop the ability to adapt to almost any environment. The display shifted to show human brain activity during problem-solving tasks, but their physical adaptability is merely the foundation. Observe their neural patterns when faced with a crisis. The hologram demonstrated humans responding to various emergency scenarios. Notice how their stress response doesn't just trigger fight or flight. It enhances their cognitive abilities. A Krovac warrior stood, their armored carapace gleaming. These are merely survival mechanisms. They do not prove superiority. Zixtal's tentacles rippled in what the audience had come to recognize as academic satisfaction. Let us conduct a real-time demonstration. The scholar activated a secondary hologram showing current human activities across various space stations and colonies. Watch how they handle simultaneous challenges. The display showed humans working in deep space construction, void mining operations, and high-pressure underwater habitats. In each scenario, they weren't just surviving. They were innovating, improving their techniques in real time. What you're witnessing is not mere survival, Zixtal explained. These humans are actively seeking out hostile environments, not because they must, but because they can. Each challenge they overcome adds to their collective knowledge, making the next challenge easier to tackle. The hologram focused on a particular scene. Humans performing emergency repairs on a space station during a solar storm. Notice their problem-solving approach. While other species rely on established protocols, humans seamlessly combine learned procedures with improvisation. They don't just adapt to survive, they adapt to thrive. A Viridian observer raised their crystalline appendage. But surely there are limits to their adaptability. That's the most fascinating aspect, Zixtal responded, their tentacles weaving complex patterns of scientific excitement. Every time we think we've discovered the limits of human capability, they surpass them. They don't view limitations as absolute barriers, but as challenges to overcome. The display concluded with a comprehensive overview of human achievements in extreme environments. What we're observing isn't just a collection of biological advantages. It's a perfectly balanced system of physical and cognitive abilities that allows humans to not only survive, but excel in conditions that would defeat most specialized species. As the holographic displays faded, the assembled delegates sat in thoughtful silence. The Krovac warrior who had spoken earlier was now studying their own armored carapace with what appeared to be a new perspective. The implications were clear. Specialized evolution might create perfect adaptations for specific environments, but humanity's generalist approach had created something far more formidable, a species that could adapt to any environment they encountered. The amphitheater's holographic display transformed into a vast star map, depicting various problem-solving scenarios across different star systems. Scholar Zixtal's tentacles moved with practiced precision as they manipulated the celestial display, their bioluminescence reflecting the stellar light. Now we come to humanity's most remarkable trait. Zixtal began, their translator perfectly modulating the complex harmonics of excitement. While their physical adaptability is impressive, it is their cognitive capabilities that truly set them apart from every other species we've encountered. A hologram focused on a particular incident, a human mining operation near the rings of Saturn. Observe this scenario from their early space exploration period. The display showed a critical equipment failure that should have ended the mission. Instead, the humans created a solution using seemingly unrelated tools and materials. What you're witnessing isn't just problem-solving, Zixtal explained. It's a unique form of cognitive adaptation we've never seen in other species. Humans don't just solve problems, they redefine them. A Milorian scientist raised their sensory appendage. Surely other species demonstrate similar repair capabilities. Zixtal's tentacles rippled with academic satisfaction. Watch this comparison. The hologram split to show different species facing similar challenges. While other races followed established protocols or waited for proper replacements, humans consistently created novel solutions from available resources. This ability to improvise isn't chaos. It's a highly evolved form of pattern recognition. The display showed neural scans of human brains during crisis response. Their minds don't just process what is, they constantly simulate what could be. They see not just objects, but possibilities. A hologram shifted to show various human innovations across different fields. Consider their approach to stellar navigation. While we perfected conventional space lanes, humans theorized and then created hyperspace shortcuts that our scientists had deemed impossible. When faced with the challenge of colonizing harsh environments, they didn't just build protective habitats, they developed terraforming technologies. A Krovac strategist interrupted, their armored frame leaning forward. These are merely technological achievements. They do not indicate superior strategic thinking. An excellent observation, Zixtal responded, their bioluminescence brightening. Let us examine their strategic capabilities. The hologram displayed various human military and civilian operations. Notice how they approach challenges from multiple angles simultaneously. While other species typically pursue the most efficient solution, humans actively develop multiple solutions in parallel. The display showed a particularly fascinating case, a human colony dealing with a severe resource shortage. Observe their response to crisis. They don't just solve the immediate problem. They develop systems to prevent similar problems in the future, then improve upon those systems even when they're working adequately. The hologram expanded to show human research and development patterns across different disciplines. This is perhaps their most unique characteristic. They innovate even when there is no immediate need. Other species develop solutions to problems. Humans develop solutions, then improve them, then find new applications for them, creating opportunities that didn't previously exist. A Viridian observer chimed in, their crystalline form reflecting the holographic light. But such constant innovation must lead to instability. On the contrary, Zixtal explained, manipulating the display to show long-term human development patterns. Their ability to innovate is matched by their ability to integrate new developments into existing systems. They don't just change. They evolve their entire civilization with each advancement. The presentation shifted to show human responses to various cosmic challenges, solar flares, asteroid impacts, planetary disasters. In each case, they didn't just survive the crisis. They emerged stronger, with new technologies and strategies that they then applied to completely different fields. As the holographic display concluded with a montage of human problem-solving across the galaxy, the assembled delegates sat in thoughtful silence. The implications were clear. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their adaptability, but their unique ability to see possibilities where others saw only problems. The Krovac strategist had stopped taking notes, their posture suggesting deep contemplation. The Malorian scientist was rapidly comparing the presentation data with their own research, and in the back of the amphitheater, representatives from various galactic trading consortiums were already beginning to whisper among themselves, recognizing the immense potential implications of human innovation. The holographic display shimmered and reformed, this time showing a complex web of human social interactions across multiple colonies and space stations. Scholar Zixtal's tentacles moved with measured grace as they prepared to reveal what might be humanity's most remarkable characteristic. "We've examined their physical adaptability and cognitive innovations," Zixtal began, their translator perfectly capturing their tone of scholarly excitement. "But now we come to what truly makes humans unique among all known species, their social dynamics." The display zoomed in on a newly established colony on a harsh exoplanet. Observe how they structure their communities. The hologram showed multiple teams working in perfect synchronization, shifting roles and responsibilities as needed. Unlike other social species who maintain rigid hierarchies, humans create flexible organizational structures that can instantly adapt to new challenges. A Malorian sociologist raised their sensory appendages in interest. "But surely such fluid structures lead to chaos." "Watch," Zixtal responded, their bioluminescence pulsing with academic enthusiasm. The hologram showed a crisis situation, a massive dust storm threatening the colony's vital systems. Notice how their leadership dynamics shift. Those with relevant expertise naturally step forward, while others seamlessly move into supporting roles. The display split to show multiple crisis responses across different human settlements. This isn't random behavior. It's an evolved social adaptation that allows them to leverage their entire group's capabilities instantly. The hologram highlighted how information and resources flowed through human networks during emergencies. More fascinating still is their ability to maintain multiple social structures simultaneously. The presentation showed how humans moved between different social groups, adapting their behavior and communication styles. They can be part of a rigid military hierarchy in one moment, then shift to casual social interactions the next, all while maintaining complex professional and personal relationships. A Krovac social analyst stood, their armor plates clicking. Such constant shifting of social positions must weaken their command structure. Zixtal's tentacles waved in what the audience now recognized as scholarly delight. Observe this historical analysis. The hologram displayed centuries of human organizational evolution. Their command structures don't weaken. They become more resilient through flexibility. When one approach fails, they instantly adapt and try another. The display showed human diplomatic missions interacting with various alien species. Their social adaptability extends beyond their own kind. Humans can interpret and adapt to alien social cues with remarkable speed. They instinctively recognize social hierarchies, emotional states, and power dynamics in species completely unlike themselves. The hologram expanded to show human trade networks spanning multiple star systems. This social intelligence translates directly into practical advantages. They don't just establish trade routes. They create complex webs of relationships that serve multiple purposes simultaneously. A Viridian diplomat raised their crystalline form. But how do they maintain cohesion across such vast distances? Through perhaps their most remarkable social innovation, Zixtal explained, manipulating the display to show human communication networks. They create shared narratives and goals that bind their communities together across interstellar distances. Their social structures scale seamlessly from small groups to entire planetary populations. The presentation shifted to show human responses to various cultural challenges. When faced with social obstacles, they don't just overcome them. They incorporate new elements into their existing structures, making their societies stronger and more adaptable. The hologram concluded with a stunning visualization of human social networks spanning their explored space, showing how information, resources, and support flowed through their communities. What you're witnessing isn't just cooperation. It's a form of social evolution that operates in real time, allowing humans to leverage the full potential of their collective capabilities. As the display faded, the assembled delegates began discussing among themselves with new intensity. The Krovac social analyst was rapidly updating their assessment protocols. The Malorian sociologist had abandoned their usual detachment and was eagerly comparing notes with neighboring observers. The implications were undeniable. Humanity's social adaptability wasn't just a cultural phenomenon, but a powerful evolutionary advantage that made them far more formidable than any individual human's capabilities might suggest. The crystalline amphitheater hummed with anticipation as Scholar Zixtal prepared to demonstrate human adaptability through a series of historical simulations. Their tentacles moved gracefully across the holographic controls, but before they could begin, the chamber's primary lighting system failed, plunging the vast space into darkness. Most unfortunate, Zixtal began, their bioluminescence providing a soft glow. "It seems we must pause." A voice cut through the darkness. No need. The human delegation in attendance was already moving. Their actions, seemingly uncoordinated yet perfectly synchronized, transformed the crisis into an impromptu demonstration more powerful than any planned presentation. Within moments, portable lighting units appeared from human emergency kits, strategically placed to provide optimal illumination. 2 human engineers were already accessing the amphitheater's maintenance systems, while others organized the confused alien delegates into orderly groups. Zixtal's tentacles rippled with unexpected delight. "Esteemed colleagues, we are witnessing something remarkable. Please, observe carefully." The human response team had split into specialized units without any obvious communication. One group established a temporary power relay. Another coordinated with the facility's alien maintenance staff, while the third set up an emergency communication network. A Malorian observer activated their data recording organs. The speed of their response, it's as if they rehearsed this scenario. More fascinating still, Zixtal commented, their bioluminescence pulsing with academic excitement. They're not following a preset protocol. Watch how they adapt their strategy in real time. Indeed, when the first attempt to restore power encountered an unexpected compatibility issue between human and alien technology, the humans immediately shifted approach. Their engineers began crafting an interface adapter from available materials, while others adjusted the temporary lighting to compensate for the delay. The Krovac security chief rose from their seat, armor plates clicking. "This proves nothing. Any trained emergency response team." "Look closer," Zixtal interrupted, their tentacles weaving patterns of scholarly emphasis. "These aren't emergency response specialists. They're diplomats, scientists, and civilian observers. Yet they seamlessly form effective teams, communicate across species barriers, and solve complex technical problems simultaneously." The human teams had indeed created an elegant solution. Using a combination of human power cells, alien technology, and improvised interfaces, they restored partial power to the amphitheater. The lighting returned, revealing their efficient organization. "Notice," Zixtal continued, "how they turned a potential diplomatic embarrassment into a demonstration of cross-species cooperation. They didn't just solve the technical problem. They strengthened interspecies relations in the process." A Viridian analyst raised their crystalline form. "The speed of their cognitive processing during crisis situations is matched only by their ability to maintain calm among others." Zixtal completed the thought. The humans had indeed kept the alien delegates not just orderly but engaged, turning fearful confusion into curious observation. As the facility's main power returned, the human teams smoothly transitioned to helping restore normal operations. They documented their temporary solutions for the maintenance staff, suggested improvements to existing emergency protocols, and quietly returned to their seats as if nothing extraordinary had occurred. "What we've witnessed," Zixtal announced to the now attentive audience, "is humanity's crisis response in its purest form. No preparation, no specialized teams, no advanced technology, just their natural abilities in action." The holographic systems reactivated, and Zixtal displayed a quick analysis of the incident. "Observe. Parallel problem solving, instant team formation, cross-species communication, and technology adaptation, all executed simultaneously without central coordination." The Krovac security chief had stopped objecting, their posture now showing grudging respect. The Malorian observers were rapidly comparing notes, trying to understand how the humans had achieved such seamless cooperation without telepathic abilities. "This," Zixtal concluded, "their tentacles moving with scholarly satisfaction, is why humans are unique. They don't just survive crises, they thrive in them, turning obstacles into opportunities for advancement." The assembled delegates looked at their human counterparts with new understanding. The impromptu demonstration had proved more convincing than any planned presentation could have been. The holographic display reactivated with newfound brilliance, casting the amphitheater in the light of 1,000 stars. Scholar Zixtal's tentacles moved with precise grace as they prepared to reveal humanity's most profound impact on galactic society. "We come now to perhaps the most remarkable aspect of human civilization," Zixtal began, their translator perfectly conveying their tone of scientific wonder. "Their approach to space exploration and first contact." The hologram showed the early days of human spaceflight. Most species follow a predictable pattern of expansion. Careful, methodical, and above all, cautious. Humans, however. The display shifted to show multiple exploration missions launching simultaneously. They embraced risk as opportunity. A Viridian historian raised their crystalline form. "Surely such reckless expansion led to disasters." "Observe," Zixtal responded, their bioluminescence pulsing with academic excitement. The hologram displayed human responses to various space disasters. Each setback became a catalyst for advancement. When their early space vehicles failed, they didn't retreat, they built better ones. When they lost explorers, they honored them by pushing further into space. The display expanded to show humanity's first encounters with alien civilizations. But here is where their true genius emerges. Watch their first contact protocols in action. The hologram showed humans meeting various species for the first time. Unlike any other known species, Zixtal explained, their tentacles weaving patterns of scholarly emphasis, humans developed a unique approach to unknown civilizations. They prepare for both peaceful exchange and potential conflict simultaneously. The Krovac military observer shifted forward. A logical precaution. More than that, Zixtal continued, watch their diplomatic teams work. The display showed human negotiators interacting with newly discovered species. While their military maintains readiness, their diplomats forge genuine connections. They don't just establish relations, they build bridges across species boundaries. The hologram demonstrated how humans adapted their communication and behavior for each new species they encountered. Notice their remarkable ability to read alien social cues. They instinctively adjust their approach based on the reactions they observe, often understanding alien psychology better than our most advanced sinologists. A Malorian scientist clicked their mandibles thoughtfully, but their rapid expansion must have caused territorial conflicts. That's the most fascinating part, Zixtal responded, manipulating the display to show human colonial development. They perfected the art of mutually beneficial expansion. Rather than simply claiming territory, they create opportunities for cooperation. The presentation shifted to show various human-alien joint ventures. They don't just establish colonies, They create multicultural hubs that benefit all participating species. Their space stations become melting pots of technology and culture. Their trade routes transform into cultural exchanges. The hologram expanded to demonstrate human problem-solving across different star systems. When they encounter resource conflicts, they don't just negotiate settlements. They develop new technologies to eliminate the scarcity at the root of the problem. When faced with territorial disputes, they find ways to create shared spaces that benefit all parties. Most remarkably, Zixtal continued, their bioluminescence brightening. They maintained this adaptive approach even in the face of hostility. The display showed various first contact scenarios that initially seemed headed for conflict. They remain ready for war while actively working for peace, a paradox that consistently catches other species off guard. The presentation concluded with a stunning visualization of human influence spreading through the galaxy, not through conquest or dominance, but through a web of connections, innovations, and mutual benefits. What we're witnessing, Zixtal explained as the hologram faded, is not just successful space exploration. It's the emergence of a species that has transformed the very nature of interstellar relations. The assembled delegates sat in thoughtful silence. The Krovac military observer had abandoned their usual aggressive posture, instead displaying signs of deep contemplation. The Viridian historian was rapidly updating their archives, while the Malorian scientist appeared to be completely reevaluating their previous assumptions. The implications were clear. Humanity's approach to space exploration wasn't just different, it was revolutionizing how species interact across the galaxy. The crystalline amphitheater fell into absolute silence as Scholar Zixtal prepared for their final revelation. Their tentacles moved with deliberate precision, creating a holographic display that encompassed the entire chamber. The assembled delegates found themselves surrounded by a three-dimensional map of the known galaxy, alive with flowing streams of data and interconnected networks of human activity. Distinguished colleagues, Zixtal began, their translator conveying a tone of profound discovery. What we've witnessed today isn't just a series of remarkable adaptations. It's the emergence of something unprecedented in galactic history. The holographic display zoomed in on various human settlements, each pulsing with activity. We've studied their physical capabilities, their problem-solving skills, their social structures, and their approach to expansion. But now, observe the pattern that emerges when we view all these elements as a single system. The galaxy map transformed, showing the flow of human influence across space and time. Lines of trade, cultural exchange, and technological advancement wove together into an intricate web of progress. A Viridian elder raised their crystalline form. The speed of their advancement is not just continuing, it's accelerating, Zixtal confirmed, their bioluminescence pulsing with academic excitement. Each challenge they overcome, each barrier they break, serves as a stepping stone to even greater achievements. The display showed multiple scenarios simultaneously, human colonies adapting to extreme environments, diplomatic teams forging unlikely alliances, scientists solving supposedly impossible problems. They don't just survive or expand. They transform every environment they encounter into something more than it was before. The Krovac Supreme Commander, who had remained silent throughout most of the presentation, finally spoke. They achieve this without superior strength or natural weapons. That's precisely what makes them remarkable, Zixtal responded, their tentacles weaving patterns of scholarly emphasis. They turned their apparent weaknesses into their greatest strengths. Their lack of natural defenses drove them to create better tools. Their physical limitations pushed them to develop superior strategies. Their vulnerability to environmental hazards led them to master environmental control. The hologram shifted to show the cumulative effect of human innovation across different fields. Each solution they develop spawns dozens of new applications. Each technology they master becomes a foundation for even more advanced discoveries. A Malorian scientist clicked their mandibles in realization. They're not just adapting to the universe. They're reshaping it. Zixtal completed the thought. not through force or dominance, but through innovation and cooperation. They don't just solve problems. They transform challenges into opportunities for advancement. The display expanded to show the full scope of human influence on galactic civilization. Trade routes had become cultural highways. Colonial outposts had grown into multicultural centers of innovation. Former conflict zones had transformed into shared spaces of cooperation and advancement. What we're witnessing, Zixtal explained, their bioluminescence brightening with intensity, is not just the rise of another spacefaring species. We're seeing the emergence of a civilization that has mastered the art of continuous evolution. They don't wait for natural selection. They drive their own advancement, and they lift other species along with them. A holographic display concluded with a stunning visualization of humanity's potential trajectory. Their influence doesn't diminish with distance or time. It compounds. Each success builds upon previous achievements, creating an exponential curve of progress that shows no signs of slowing. As the final images faded, the assembled delegates sat in profound silence. The Krovac Supreme Commander's aggressive posture had been replaced by one of deep contemplation. The Viridian Elder's crystalline form sparkled with new understanding. The Malorian scientist had abandoned taking notes entirely, lost in the implications of what they'd learned. We must understand, Zixtal concluded, their tentacles moving with scholarly precision, that humanity's true strength isn't in any single capability or achievement. It's their ability to continuously adapt, innovate, and transform both themselves and their environment. They are not just another species among the stars. They are catalysts of change, drivers of progress, shapers of the future itself. The amphitheater remained silent as the presentation ended, each delegate processing the profound implications of what they'd witnessed. The universe wasn't just adapting to humanity's presence. It was being transformed by it. One innovation, one solution, one breakthrough at a time.